I'd read about Tibet and the Chinese invasion. This was why I was here. But my first encounter with the invaders was not what I expected.
We've got our own mobile disco. Deleted them.
A checkpoint guarded by Chinese soldiers. I could only film the building as I was at risk of being caught. This was the first sign of evidence that we had come across of Chinese occupation. Yet it didn't make any sense. The checkpoint was in the middle of nowhere. Why? Why was it there? You could walk around it. The road to Lhasa was like no other road I'd ever been on.
Fucking hell. Nearly at my head. I can't focus on anything. Paula, is it zoomed in?
No, I don't think it is. Why don't let me?
Oh, well, I've lost it then.
In my diary I wrote, the tarmac road was like a black river, depressing. Everything Tibetan had been swept away. The Dalai Lama's home looking worn and sad.
And when Nima turned to us and says, we're entering Lhasa, and I've never felt such a wave of sickness come over me. I thought, and plus the weather was perfect because it was just grey and horrible. These rain clouds had swept over us just as we were entering Lhasa. Been beautiful all day. And then just as we're entering Lhasa, these dust storms kick up and then it starts raining. And I've just never felt so utterly sick in all my life. It was just horrible.
The next day we went to the Barker Square. In Lhasa the presence of Chinese people outnumbers Tibetans 5 to 1. Tibetans come to this place as it's the spiritual heart of Tibet. Pilgrims travel from miles around to pray, always being watched by Chinese soldiers and police who seem to be everywhere. On the 7th of March 1989, monks and nuns from the Jokhang Temple protested their frustrated desire for independence in and around the Barker Square. The monks and nuns were unarmed. Nevertheless, the Chinese government dispatched the People's Liberation Army to control the situation. Several monks and nuns were killed and tortured. Many of those that were arrested are still in prison, as under Chinese rule, protesting is against the law. Freedom of speech does not exist. This is a mock execution filmed in the summer of 2004 by Students for a Free Tibet UK in Dharamsala in India. It was to highlight the case of a well-known Tibetan monk. When we were in Lhasa, he was waiting execution for a crime he didn't commit. Trukhu Tenzin Delek Rinpoche publicly spoke about his commitment to Tibetan Buddhism and to the Dalai Lama. To speak openly about the Dalai Lama in Tibet is against the law. The Dalai Lama's home has now been turned into a giant museum. His clock is still on his bedside table. In my diary I wrote, the Patala Palace used to be a majestic place. Now it is sad and empty, constantly being watched. Two Chinese soldiers stand guard beside a monument. I later learnt that it's a monument celebrating the peaceful liberation of Tibet. There was nothing peaceful about it. Since China's invasion, over an estimated 1 million Tibetans have died as a direct result. Returning home was no easy task, as the Chinese police held me for an hour as they were suspicious of the visa they had issued me. Since returning to Britain, I learnt that because of external pressure, Tenzin Derek has had a stay of execution. I went knowing nothing. I returned knowing something. But I need to know more. A few days later, the worst was over. We continued towards the capital,